Right, good morning and welcome to the big story on Daybreak Live on Dominion Television. I am your host, Samson Balogun, and today's episode is a special tribute to a towering figure in Nigeria's political and military history, the late former President Muhammadu Buhari. From the battlefield to the ballot box, Buhari's journey was marked by discipline, patriotism, controversy, and resilience. As the nation mourns, we take a reflective look at the legacy of the man who once ruled as a military head of state and later returned as a democratically elected president. So, stay with us as we uncover the defining moment, the ideals he stood for, and the impact he leaves behind in Nigeria's political and socio-economic landscape. Former President Muhammadu Buhari, born in 1942 in Daura, Katsina State, he rose through the ranks of the Nigerian army, with distinction, becoming head of state after the 1983 coup. Known for his firm anti-corruption stance and rigid discipline, his military regime was short-lived but left a lasting impression. 3 decades later, Buhari reinvented himself politically, emerging victorious in 2015 after 3 failed presidential bids. As Nigeria's 15th president, his 2-term tenure was defined by fight against corruption, a controversy and controversial economic policy direction, and an unyielding battle against insurgency. While opinions about his governance differ, there is no denying that Buhari's imprint on Nigeria's democratic evolution and institutional reforms will remain a significant chapter in our history. Welcome once again to the big story. Samson Balogun is my name, and this is the big story on Dominion Television, where entertainment, inspiration meets entertainment. You can join the conversation by leaving your comment on our social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast, and on X, formerly Twitter, at Dominion Cast. Do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel on at Dominion Broadcast. Do well to subscribe and of course drop your comment there. We'll surely take them. And on X, formerly Twitter, at Dominion Broadcast. Watch us live on our website www.dominion.org.ng. And now today I won't be doing this alone. I have an astute politician, a Shaki-born politician, a barrister at law, who became the youngest assembly member in the year 1979, was Commissioner of Information and Justice in Oyo State, and of course, Minister of Communication between 2015 and 2019. Over 13 published books on Islamic and social topics. He was founder, educational and civic initiatives in Oyo, known for integrity, legal thought, and grassroots leadership. His name is no other person than Barrister Abdurrahim Adebayo Shittu. With him, we'll be making sense of the life and times of former President Muhammadu Buhari, who passed away not long ago. Barrister Abdurrahim Adebayo Shittu, good morning to you, sir. Okay, now, the profile of my guest today speaks a lot about what we are about to discuss. Because before there was emergence of the APC, the political party metamorphosed from what we call a lone ranger in the southwestern part of Nigeria, from the AD to AC, ACN, APC. But of course, before the APC came on board, we had a merger in Nigerian history, and that was the first time an incumbent president was unseated, and that became a major milestone in the history of the country, and that can never be erased. That was the merger of bigger political parties marrying the smaller ones. The CPC merged with the ACN then and became the APC, and that is what we have today, the APC in Nigeria. Of course, before former President Muhammadu Buhari, late, merged his structure across the country, which is the CPC, with that of the ACN then. He contested to run for the president and absolutely had some setbacks. Of course, he lost some elections, eventually winning in 2015. But what we want to discuss is the fact that these political parties came together and formed an alliance. we're already having another brainstorming in another quarter of the country, and as political arena is concerned, as the ADC is also emerging, so many big wigs in the political landscape in Nigeria are also metamorphosing into something really big. Are we going to have a different thought first this time around, or we are still going to maintain the status quo? Don't forget, in the last election, the Labour Party came out of the blue and had a lot of votes, millions of votes, which so many people did not see coming. What they call the obedient movement is still there. They made waves in the last election. In fact, the sitting president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, lost in his home state to the Labour Party. Some call that a deliberate attempt to make the election look credible. But is that the real deal? Is that what we should be looking at? Or there's another political undertone? Don't forget, the APC also are not resting on their horse. As the ADC is evolving, even the APC are not resting. They are harvesting governors all around the country. Sitting governors. There are insinuations that in Osun State, Governor Ademola Adeleke is likely to join the APC. As much as Doyediri of Bayelsa. Is that going to happen soon? It is left to be seen. Good morning to you, Barrister Adebayo Shittu.
Very good morning to you, my dear brother.
Good to have you on the show.
Countrymen.
All right.
You're welcome.
Yes, sir. Now, let's talk about life and times of President Muhammadu Buhari. You worked closely with him. You are a member of the same political party. In fact, people say that you are of his school of thought. Is that true?
Of course, I believed in him. I believed in him while it lasted. I was looking for a political leader who can be trusted, who would be incorruptible, and who would be really patriotic. And I found all of that in him.
Okay, now, what was your first encounter or interaction with Muhammadu Buhari like? What impression did he leave on you when you met him for the first time?
Well, before that, he had been president of it, and he waged a very fantastic anti-corruption crusade in this country. I was attracted to him.
Okay, looks
I
like...
hope you heard me.
Okay, we can take that again. The network was a little bit shaky at that time. We can go back to what you were saying. Yeah.
I said before I joined him, he had been president of this country.
Okay.
He had waged a very interesting anti-corruption on corrupt Nigerians. So I was attracted to him by that because I needed a very patriotic person, an incorruptible person, and somebody who loved him.
Now, many Nigerians remember his administration, especially as the military head of state, for his war against indiscipline. You saw that, you lived to see that in Nigeria. And what impact has that left on the Nigerian people in terms of mindset?
Well, Nigerians were, the ordinary were very happy at that time. Unfortunately, corruption overthrown sanity in Nigeria. So one is we are back.
Okay, looks like the network is a little bit shaky. But the issue now that we want to discuss is was the era we're talking about, was it too harsh, but or was it a necessary approach to reform in the country? Because so many times people talk about indiscipline as a general topic. Now, if we now read down to the case of Nigeria, especially in areas where the then President Muhammadu Buhari came on board and had a lot to do in terms of reforms, was the era too harsh, or it was a necessary means to reform in the country?
The Onyibo people say that desperate disease are by desperate means cured. If corruption and indiscipline are getting got in this country, then to recover, we necessarily need to take those to get us back on. Unfortunately, it become worse. There's so much corruption, there's so much, and nobody is really in charge.
Okay. So how well did his military background influence his reign as president, as a civilian president in the country?
Well, it was an anticlimax. Because when he was coming to contest election, he had been blackmailed that he wanted to put another military regime in disguise. And he was getting scared. So he needed to change his tactic. Unfortunately, the new tactic won't work for us in this country. Because indiscipline remains, and the ordinary is unhappy.
People spoke about Islamization when he was coming on board as the president of the country. How did that make you feel, being one of his political students?
He's the most stupid at the game. The people who are very intolerant of other people's religious differences. Let me one thing that it amounted to Islamization. With due respect to you, you are you must be able to recall what is the one thing that it needed to an attempt to.
Was that an attempt to assassinate his character as a candidate for?
It was intolerance. In this country, once you're a very good Muslim,
he contested for president.
They will tell you you are a religious fanatic.
Okay.
They will tell you are a religious fanatic. They will tell you are intolerant when they of intolerance.
All right.
I don't see one thing that the president did which amount religious intolerance or fanatism.
All right. Very quickly, let me also ask you this. He contested for presidency on 4 different occasions before eventually winning in 2015. What do you think kept him going, and what changed in 2015 that finally led to his victory?
It was the alliance with the Yoruba Southwest of Nigeria. Because there's no how try to go it alone. He had a reliable partner, foreign president of this country, who formed an alliance in Nigeria.
Are you of the same opinion that the southwestern part of the country is a huge vote block, that whoever wants to become president has to carry the southwest along?
It necessarily follows. We have a tripartite arrangement naturally on the north. We have the east. We have the
whoever. So that has been.
Particularly the north and under the east, because once there's an arrangement,
Okay, now there is a particular material I would love you to listen to, where the president was talking about the country, Nigeria, as a terrific country, and was also more or less like saying, look, if I knew it was going to be this complex, I probably wouldn't have put my heart in the ring. Let's check that material, and then when we return, we'll engage you more on the conversation as regards life and times of President Muhammadu Buhari. We'll be back shortly.
Whoever thought that there has been some form of injustice on him, we are all humans. There is no doubt I hurt some people, and I wish they would pardon me. And those that think that I've hurt them so much, please pardon me. I thank you very much.
All right, and that was former President and late former President Muhammadu Buhari there apologizing to Nigerians, saying, look, no doubt some people might think I hurt them, and if you are one of those people who think I hurt them badly, I am really sorry. That was one of the last thing he did, as a living soul. Now, Barrister Shittu, I want to ask you this question. How does this make you feel as former president also came out and said, look, to Nigerians who feel, oh, I hurt them so bad, I'm really sorry. How would you characterize that approach to things from a leader?
It's a regrettable thing. I don't know what exactly he has done to warrant seeking for the forgiveness of non-Nigerians who feel offended. If you do something that you are convinced is very good and in the national interest, why must you apologize?
Okay, does that mean?
I don't know. Maybe
does that mean
there are certain things that he did that was
okay, now does that mean he feels guilty about certain decisions he made or some policies he implemented while being president?
It is he, not me. I don't know what he has done.
Okay. All right.
Warrant such an apology.
All right. He came into office with strong claim for anti-corruption. He fought corruption tooth and nail all over the pages of the newspaper. But in your own knowledge, as someone who worked closely with him, would you say he was successful in his anti-corruption war?
In the second coming, as president, in his second coming as elected president, I don't see that. A lot of people really left on in the fight against corruption.
Okay, some people claim that his administration was too slow or too distant when it comes to emergencies. Do you believe that too? In taking decisions?
Well, it would depend on the other. And see what exactly are we talking about.
So, is it an institutional failure or leadership crisis in the country at the time?
Well, and he was during the second coming. He appeared to have left home to God.
All right. This is a question that so many people are.
The first time.
Okay. Now, let me ask you a question that too many people asked during his reign as president. There were insinuations that he was not fully in charge as president, and that it was his cousin, Muhammadu, Buhari, and a few others who were the cabal in Aso then. And it even took his wife, Aisha Buhari, to come out there and say, look, you have to let this man do his job. He's not in charge. Do you believe that actually happened in Aso at the time?
I believe so, because you will recall that for a long time he was sick. Was not psychologically okay. Had to be going into hospital and coming out then. And during those periods, the relations of his took advantage. They actually took advantage.
Okay, so Eventually, he came back after prolonged illness, came back. Do you think he was eventually able to wrestle away power from the so-called cabal?
By then, the religious had entrenched themselves in government. And even for people to get appointments, they had to bypass him awfully. And he being one person who too much on his relations, he's not surprised that a lot of things went.
Okay, are you one of those who are close and loyal to former President Muhammadu Buhari, who were faced at the time? Were you one of them? By
What kind of friends?
by the cabal?
I was never part of the cabal. I was never in their good books. You had to know. I was never in their good books, and I didn't give a damn. I didn't believe in doing what is right.
Now, basically, also there was a claim while when he was sick at the time, some claimed that it was President Muhammadu Buhari then that traveled abroad for treatment, and then it was a certain man from Sudan that came back. That the president was late at the time.
A very stupid to say that a human being had been fooled. It didn't make sense. It was most unnatural for such a thing to happen.
Now, what do you think late former President Muhammadu Buhari's enduring legacy would be now that he is no more?
Well, his personal incorruptibility. Nobody can beat him to. He was a really very, very incorruptible, perhaps the most incorruptible Nigerian leader you ever.
Usually, some people will say, even if you bring God to rule Nigeria, some people will still frustrate his efforts. Is that true?
Of course, God's effort is frustrated, but efforts of human beings could be frustrated. With the late Muhammadu Buhari, so don't compare God with human beings.
There are ways.
Because God is the compeller.
Because former President Olusegun Obasanjo made a claim that Nigerians are not easy to govern. So whoever you bring to rule Nigeria, there are still some people in some corners who will frustrate his efforts. Now, I would like to ask this question. There are insinuations that not even the
human being could be manipulated.
Okay, now do you think history will be kind to late former President Muhammadu Buhari?
Well, he is a human being. He was a human being. You know, he succeeded in some other respect. He may have failed.
There are growing public disapproval among the youth, and will that also affect his legacy now that he's no more? Okay, looks like it's a little bit shaky, but then, are you there, sir? Barrister Shittu?
Yes, I'm there, I'm here.
Okay, now, looking back now, what do you think was Buhari's greatest regret as a leader? Did he ever experience such to you as one of his close allies?
I do not know what the greatest regret is, but I'm sure inside him, the thing that Nigerians have need to fight would be one eternal pain. Indeed.
Now, if you were to write the last line in a biography titled Buhari, the Soldier President, what would it be?
I would write, here lies one sincerely patriotic Nigerian who in all his life has remained most incorruptible.
Okay, now let's talk about politics. Now that late former President Muhammadu Buhari is no more, who takes over the mantle as the leader of the CPC bloc in the APC?
I'm not hearing you well, oh, please.
Okay, now let me rephrase the question. Now,
Be more audible. Be
okay.
More audible.
Now that late former President Muhammadu Buhari is no more, who takes over the leadership of the CPC bloc in the APC as we speak?
As far as I'm concerned,
okay, looks like the internet is a little bit shaky, but then it's a question they still will be able to take from him. We want to know that will the CPC bloc, as what we have on the paper today, credited to Barrister Adebayo Shittu, claiming that some of the CPC members of the APC in the APC.
People
okay, he's back. Okay.
And decide to remain in APC.
Oh, okay. It's there is a claim on the Punch newspaper this morning. Buhari's CPC bloc may dump APC. Some CPC chieftains likely to quit APC, but APC remains unshaken. That's coming from Adebayo Shittu. So, with this headline, it is most likely that he is not one of those who intend to leave the APC. He remains an APC member. Barrister Adebayo Shittu. Now, I was asking the question. There is a statement credited to you. There is a statement credited to you on the Punch newspaper this morning, saying Buhari's CPC bloc may dump APC. It's on page 8, and some CPC chieftains likely to quit.
I have never said that. I have never said that, and I don't recognize anything as a CPC bloc.
Okay.
The parties which came together earlier had dissolved into APC.
The structures were collapsed.
Best of my knowledge, it will be a
oh, okay. It's a little bit shaky there, but we'll get that response which will require this morning from him before we sound out on this show. It has been a wonderful conversation with him, and would really love to know exactly what will happen to former president or late former president Muhammadu Buhari's followers who are still in the APC. Judging by the fact that we're having alliances upon alliances in the country, the ADC is emerging, the Labour Party is still there, and there are some other political parties like the NMPP that is also building, just like the APC started from Lagos State. NMPP is in Kano State now, installed a governor, Abba Yusuf, and they are looking into spreading their tentacles across the nooks and crannies of the country. But be that as it may, if we cannot get Barrister Shittu to give us the concluding section of the show, it is about time we round up on the show this morning. And I want to say a very big thank you for everyone that has been a part of the show so far. This is The Big Story. As we conclude this edition of The Big Story, one thing is clear. The life and times of Muhammadu Buhari reflects the complex dance between leadership, legacy, and national service. Whether seen as a hero, a reformer, or a flawed symbol of change, his name is etched in the annals of Nigeria's journey as a nation still in search of true greatness and identity. Thank you for joining us today. I am Samson Balogun, and this has been The Big Story on Daybreak Live.